Jay's here. I'm back. I'm also with a new microphone. So let me know if you can't hear me. Found it in my wife's office from COVID times. We got as a teacher when it was COVID, we got like $200 worth of podcasting equipment so we could teach virtually to students. And I still have all that stuff. I got a great Bluetooth speaker. I got this microphone here. I got a light somewhere. Good morning. Welcome to Daily Dads, daily podcast on Ryan Holiday's The Daily Dad. Each day a meditation of how we raise our families. And I always say it's nothing new. It's just things that have been known and passed down through generations of dads and dadding and momming and parenting. And we just talk about it and discuss how it applies to our daily lives. I just got back from the mountains. I live in Colorado. We went up to a place called Estes Park. We live close to there. We live right outside of Boulder. Estes Park is more of a tourist town. If you haven't been there, I highly suggest a visit. Living so close to it, we've always kind of looked at it as the town that the tourists go to. Most people from Nebraska. This was the very first time in the 15 years that we lived here that we actually visited and spent some time there. And it was really great. The amount of trails that are just like out the front door of wherever you stay is amazing. And it kind of has renewed my sense of, or my love of living where I am and showing my kids how to take advantage of those places. Yeah. Good morning, Ryan.
What's going on? I heard you go off. I love this. You're really diving deep into some feelings there.
Yeah. Returning refreshed, refocused. This is a place we went, Ryan, the place that we went to, we want to take you and the kids when you guys come out to next.
Yeah, of course.
It was like, there was like 3 beds in each room and like 2 of the rooms had bunk beds. The girls would love it. There was a hot tub, no snow though. But we got out for some hikes. It was just a really great family time. Probably similar to when you bring your family out to wherever you go in New York. I always appreciate that you are exploring the East Coast. And it sounds like you do that quite a bit. So we are kind of now at the age, Hazel's like able to, she's got some independence. So we can now explore without having to worry about rushing back home for emergencies. So yeah, highly recommend the Estes Park trip, even if you live close to it. Or I should say, even wherever you're at, there's probably some kind of tourist town that maybe you just kind of drive by, kind of dismissing as the place where people from out of state go. But make it a point to explore those places that are around you that are a treasure.
That's great. What was a moment that you feel like connected all 5 of you at once? Was there like a campfire moment? Was there like a struggle that everyone had to kind of get through? Was it the lull of the drive everyone kind of connected over?
The drive is short. This place is only like 45 minutes away, and it's always been 45 minutes away. I was briefly talking about like how Estes Park is always the town we have to navigate through in like tourist traffic to get to like Rocky Mountain National Park. We never stayed there ever. It was just always a drive-through. And it was just, I really appreciated being in a place that is so close that we've never explored just by virtue of it being less than an hour away. I guess kind of similar to living in New Jersey and having like the beach there less than an hour, but
yeah.
How many times did we go there? Maybe once a summer.
Sometimes you just need a moment to anchor a reason to go, and that's definitely good. But was there something that like the whole family connected over? Was it like a part of a hike? Was it a view? Was it a anything in particular?
I would say the highlight was being in a different place, even though it was close to home, where we didn't have to constantly be on call for the next thing. You know,
Mm,
like our day to day during the week during the school year is very busy. Like we're back at it today. We have like I think 2 birthday parties. Kira has soccer. Um, Dad's still in town, so he's gonna come over for dinner. Um, Kristen in her cutting ties from her old job has like lined up like buku business opportunities kind of like in a consultant role that she's always been wanting to explore, and like I fully back her 100%. And whatever that does, I mean, we're going to be short income in about a month and a half here, but the stress of a terrible job is much worse than the stress of worrying about money from ventures that you feel invested in. And I'm sure you kind of feel the same way. I mean, I'm sure you're going through like the low points and the high points. You know, there's riches or ruin months. Sometimes when it rains, it pours. Sometimes there's a drought. Kind of
mhm.
familiar with that myself. So it was a good like refocus, refamily thing. We talked about a 5-year plan. We've never done that before. That was inspired by meeting with some of my old teacher friends from my first school. There's like
Mhm,
5 of us that like really get along and we stay in touch. Also, all dads as well of older kids and younger kids.
mhm.
And Joe Phillips, if you're listening, I don't think you are because I don't know if you listen to podcasts, but we had a very inspiring discussion. He's close to retirement, and about 5 years ago, he put this plan together to move back to Louisiana. He bought some land close to water, and that really got me thinking. Is like what are we doing in 5 years? Like we don't really know. And like I came home immediately after that, and I was like, we should make like some kind of 5-year plan. It's like, yeah, we're probably like, the kids are going to be in high school and all that stuff. And, it's really easy to go default with that on, just following what the kids do. But it's like, what are we really going to do in 5 years? So like
Mhm.
we actually wrote that down. I guided the kids in like writing down some things that they want to do, places to visit, things they want to see, where me and Kristen want to be. Are we going to be in the same house? Are we going to be back in Longmont? So we got to discuss some of those things too, like late at night. We locked down our summer finally, instead of waiting to the last week of the school year to start planning things.
Yeah.
Um, we planned for our Arizona trip for our family. This family, I guess we would call it a family reunion now, huh?
Well, yeah, it's all our family.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That sounds like there is so much involved in all of that. I think that is that's amazing that you were able to really get to that point. What's up, Craig? I think that it is something that people can definitely do a lot more. That must have connected you guys in terms of not even just like in the moment, but definitely looking into the future.
Yeah.
You're looking at a
We
different
don't.
person altogether at that point.
Yeah, we don't. Well, yeah, I feel renewed. But we're going back to school on Monday, so it's like, how can I steel myself to keep this energy going as we
Wanna break
start
it?
like the last quarter of the year? Good morning, bro.
Yeah.
How's it going? I
Um,
also jumped
yeah.
onto the Chrome Bridge for the first time ever.
Oh, nice.
I got
Shout
to
out
tell
Chrome
you, I
Bridge.
have zero idea. Like I'm listening. Who was I listening to? Was it Dan? I forget who I was listening to. Yeah, Dan
Yeah.
Fialo. I was on his little live stream and
Mhm.
really enjoyed the energy. I was at my school getting things ready for the year. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm like friend stupid, but the energy's great. I just kind of like the vibe going. It's fun listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's fun to learn about. I feel like I feel it's like the first time where like I'm listening to these things and like bombarded by all these links, and I'm feeling behind the times on just how very. Hey, Lauren.
I feel like I feel like she sneaks by. Like if she just goes like this, she can't be seen.
No, I saw her.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, man. I'm so happy for you that you were able to go through all that. I think that was definitely an important thing for you to do. I think it was something that you definitely needed. It sounds like definitely something I think that we definitely need as well, which would be good. I know, like my goal, as I kind of like sat back for a second, I was like, man, I can't really plan more than 4 days ahead, and I've kind of been open about my goal of being able to just see like 3 weeks ahead and just kind of plan certain things, which has been good. So there's some things that are kind of being reworked a little bit, and I'm not taking a hard pivot into what today was about and all that kind of stuff too, but I think parenting altogether, I think once the job and parenting, it feels so disconnected, like your work life, the hours that you're doing. I think that the mindset, I know that my mindset and kind of like where I kind of start defining things as like passions can definitely start to kind of get in the way. And once I kind of feel like, oh, I have to escape my family or escape my kids to then work on that, I think there's moments where that's fine. But I think that after a while, that does become something that's like, it is tiring. It is, it's hard to live different lives at that point. And so I think when you come together as a family, like you did, especially involving the kids, I think that that's definitely really big. Did the kids understand what a 5-year plan meant? Like, were they able to kind of bring themselves to a point to understand like what 5 years down the road really kind of meant, like where it was going to bring them? Good morning, Blaze.
Morning, Blaze.
Okay, hold on. Let's play a game. What's in Blaze's mouth? I'm gonna assume at the speed at which he's chewing.
Wait. And you are never, ever gonna get this.
I'm gonna say it is a peach gummy ring.
I'm gonna say Nature Valley Crunch Bar, and half the bar is in crumbs on your lap.
It's not leaving his mouth. It's still in his mouth. Like I feel like he's still chewing, which at this point I feel like there's been at least 20 chews and it's still remaining in his mouth. So it can't dissolve. It's not a carbohydrate. There's some chewiness to it. What if he's like, is it like an eraser?
Still okay. Still, oh wait, is that a drive-through? He's at a drive-through.
He's still chewing. It's still happening. How is this going on?
Fruit stripe gum. You got 30 seconds of flavor left.
That's a good one.
I could say, like, I could
blue.
say,
It's blue.
Crazy raspberry. It's a raspberry flavor.
You would
Blue raz.
guess it if I was offering you $1 billion.
Oh, wow.
The only clue that I can give is you guys have to remember I'm like kind of a child, so that's all I can say.
The thing is, okay, it's still in your mouth. It's not going away. So it's obviously it has some it's not getting broken down. So I feel like it must be a gum type of thing. Also, it looks like it has a good volume. It's taking up a lot of your mouth, more so than just like a small like Trident piece of gum. Is it Oh gosh, wow, it's amazing. No, a gummy shark, Elena, would end up going away. A fruit roll-up would go away. A Tootsie Roll would go away. It's still remaining in Blaze's mouth. So also blue raspberry is probably the flavor.
Can I get ice water too?
What was that? What was that other what was the gum? Not bazooka gum. All right, we have 10 more seconds, Jason. Give it and Couch, give it one more.
Mike and Ike's final answer.
Oh, no, that would go away. It's still in his mouth.
Dang it.
All right. I think we're ready. What is it? Wait, that's what I was thinking in my head when I said it's not bazooka. What's the other one? I almost won $1 billion.
And cotton candy. Cotton candy, that's deceiving. Cotton candy could be pink or it could be blue.
I could be blue. I could be okay. Whatever that song is. Nice, Blaze. What's going on? Where are you going? I see some foreheads in the back floating around. Obviously with the kiddos. Are you going out to the Y? Are you doing some sports this morning?
We're taking my favorite daughter to her first Annie rehearsal.
I'm your only daughter.
She just let daughter.
Classic dad line.
That's funny.
Um,
I have puppy today.
oh, nice.
Say hi.
Oh, Ryan, by the way, I was listening in while we were gone. I was purposely not joining in because before we left, some of the things I was feeling like with the end of the quarter was just kind of like a general unfocus.
Yeah.
That also kind of that also kind of bled into our time, like in the mornings. And I kept finding that like I had like all these unplanned things in my head that I really couldn't get out and vocalize.
Mhm.
And it started getting to the point where it was like, do I even have anything to say? Like, am I getting on in the morning? And like, it's a great habit, but when I'm getting on, what am I contributing? Like, Dom knocks it out of the park every morning. And it's like I'll try to focus in on a point, and it's just like I'll just start talking and these words come out. So like one of the things that I kind of resolved to take care of is like shortening my points. You mentioned that I'm really good at listening, which I appreciate. Sometimes I take a little bit longer to get my point across.
Okay.
Took that as constructive criticism, not as an insult. So that's also something that.
Wait, there was no insult anywhere that I
No,
would
there was no
Okay.
insult. You're right. There wasn't. But you apologized after you said that. So I'm saying it wasn't.
Did I?
You did. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely good. I think it definitely helps with a few things. I think it helps to get your thoughts out. Blaze, I feel like you're a really great communicator. I think that you step into leadership roles, I think really easily. When you think about communicating effectively and clearly, what would you wrap that up in something? Is there a way to coach that, teach that in your mind?
So with communicating effectively, it always it depends on two things I like to think about. Who is your audience and what is the context? Like for Blaze on X News, I kept trying to find like, how can I communicate what's going on X effectively? I was doing the live broadcast, but unless you're sitting there right now, the algorithm doesn't really push those very well. So I stopped doing that. I was having success with like 4 stories, 4 GIFs in a thread. It's just that takes a lot of my time too, which I just don't have right now. Are you ready to go inside? So I just think, get your message. Is it a call to action? Is it urgency? So what are you trying to communicate? And then how can you get to the person to remember, and don't share too much, which has nothing, just like in general, because it's easy to spiral. Because what you don't want is someone walking away from the conversation, and like, that's why I love these meditations, because it's like one topic, one page, move on with your life. Because you give too much information, then you're like, did he want me to remember like Roy G. Biv, or am I supposed to remember that Caesar lived in?
Bye, Demel.
Love you, baby. Do you want your water?
Oh yeah.
There definitely is a point where I think sometimes you can over structure things though, and my mind goes towards that. There must be a takeaway. It must be the clearest message ever, and I even think that I'm not great at that sometimes. I always love the idea of trying to think of the point that you're getting across. And one thing in particular, like there's so many things within sales that I've seen before, just because I think a lot of ways to communicate and just sell a thought or an idea, and not even a product, but just trying to speak to people. So if it's about parenting or it's about getting away to the mountains, I think that there is this idea, and I'm even looking at my notes because I will put stuff up here as if I feel that I'm at a loss for focus, I'll come back to that in either my writing or my speaking. But I think to tell a story and to almost sell any thought or idea. When I think of selling, I think about just grabbing attention. And so when it's the attention there, I think that everybody within a thought that you have that you're trying to get across, there is this want or this possibility. So like Jason, if you're thinking about like, I want to share this, I want to share my experience, I would think about like, well, what is the want or what's the possibility that people are looking for? So I want to really bring that up first. But like, what is the problem? Like, what's stopping people from getting there? It's like, oh, we just, the mountains are great. Like, how great is it to feel? How great would it be for you to feel that you can like breathe air, get away with the family? But this is the problem, is we have no time. Like, there's just no time in the day. We forget these places are even here. We think they're so far away, but you can overcome that, right? And so that third kind of piece being overcoming. Well, my family, like it was spring break and we had to take advantage of this. We want to get away with the kids, which I think is just really important. And, once we were able to do that, right? Once we realized that we just have to just get in the car and go, we can't let anything stop us, right? So that I think that story of overcoming, and then like there's that system or the secret system that you can kind of get across too. But this is what I learned. I learned that, we all think it has to be this way, but really it's all about just getting movement going. And all we really need to do is think about, how much time it's going to take, making sure that we're all on the same page and just getting our shoes on and going. Like, this is the secret that most families don't really get, right? So, and then you can kind of sell an actual product after that. But I think that this idea of possibility and want, the problem, like what's stopping you from actually getting there, the story of overcoming it and like what you did, now someone's connected to it. And then you kind of be like, well, this is what I learned. This is the secret that I saw my family or myself overcoming, or someone else did, or, that kind of thing too. So there's always ways to, I think, attach whatever you want to get across. But the biggest thing for me that I see is that a lot of people don't know what they want, and they don't know what they want to get across or what they want even in their life. So I think we all have to come to the table with at least some kind of idea. Those are my 2 cents.
Good 2 cents. I want to go back to what you asked about, kind of taking all that into context with families and stuff. And I think I would say that the key takeaway that I walked away with was letting go. You get so ingrained in your schedule, like every day, every week, every month, really become like that becomes your operating system. And for better or worse, it'll grind on you. It'll take your energy away. You gotta recharge, and your family has to recharge. And the best way to do that, I'd say, is together. And you also talked about how did you put another piece of gum in your mouth?
No, now me and Craig are in a fight. I said he pissed me off yesterday. Now he's busting my chops. He's commenting on my jaw. And I just want you to know, Brad Pitt has stayed so good looking because he's always, maybe it's Tom Cruise, one of them, they're always like chewing food. So I'm just lurking on that jawline. I might be breaking into comedy soon. The market is tough right now, so I could be smoking.
I just have to keep just gotta, what, I don't even know what the exercise is. You got like suck in your tongue or with something. I don't know.
You just push your tongue to the roof of your mouth.
Are you talking about blow bubbles?
Oh wait, is that what we're talking about?
Oh.
I was thinking about the meme when I just when I saw Craig say that. I was thinking about the meme where there were like two guys talking, and one of the guys was like, "Oh man, I really hate BJ's," and the guy's like, "Yeah. Oh man, it makes my jaw so sore." So that was my thought when I thought about that, which I thought was funny. So, are you working on your jawline?
No, I enjoy bubblegum. I mean, I'm never not working on it. But
obviously
that my daughter's gone. One of the things that I've been telling her a lot, because she probably needs to go to therapy, but she's preoccupied with time because she was going to Andy practice this morning at 9 a.m. and it's 2 hours. And she's like, 2 hours? I could be doing so much stuff in 2 hours. I'm like, you go to school for 8 hours. You watch a movie for 2 hours. Like, it's a normal time frame. And she says she wants to be an actress. And I'm like, if you want to be work at it. No one's gonna hand you an actress certificate, comedy certificate. So that was the trials and tribulations. But I'm telling her a lot that like I keep trying to get her to do stuff and she always says no. She started to like whimper a little bit this morning. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because I know what you're gonna say. And then there was minimal tears because we didn't have to go through that conversation. And we got her in the car and we got hotcakes and now she's gone. So I just wanted to share my story this morning.
No, it's great. I love that story. I like when you say hotcakes. It brings you back to the 1930s. With yeah, you know, it's I think the conversation I know with my daughter has come up a bunch about like we have to do hard things. We have to make sure that it's, you're not going to enjoy this. And when it comes to food, okay, we're going to have to eat things that we love and things that we don't at the same time, right? We have to kind of talk about prioritizing things, or like, even with friends, it's like, well, there's some things that we're going to have to get done first before we, do everything. And I even have those like conversations around like dopamine and, this is how your brain works. And she connects with that kind of stuff too. But it is a tough moment. Jason, you have an older daughter who I think is very much, very self-aware and very intelligent. Is there anything that you had to do with her to get her motivated to do things that she didn't want to do?
We have discussions on habits. She's at the age where it's like she wants to do things and she's open-minded and she realizes like she does have the capacity to realize like things that she wants to do does take work. Like she plays soccer, and she recognizes that like, hey, sometimes going up to the field and kicking around is a good way to just kind of get your mind into it and get your body connected to that. She is starting to be interested in fitness. So like she's asked to go to the gym with me in the mornings. Not my early morning, more like her early morning. But it's like she recognizes the things that me and Kristen do. She's starting to, and I appreciate that I don't have to push that. And we're at the point where we're trying to make that not a chore, more like those are the things that you do to be the person that you want. Mm-hmm. She was inspired by Sloan to try some modeling. So like we're kind of getting into that a bit.
I will tell you, the success of a child model is very much hinging on how much time the parent has. So it's like,
we're learning that
12 hours notice and be like, hey, can you be like at this place an hour away in like 10 hours? And you're like, what? It's Wednesday night. Like it's crazy. So
yeah, it's we're learning that, and we're in. If she wants to do it, we will go with her through that, whether she ends up enjoying it or not. Part of that discussion is and I'm sure you've had this discussion with your daughter, is like modeling's not just about your looks. It's like how you carry yourself, how you interact with other people. It's not just looking pretty. It's like, and if you do find that success, it's like your looks are only skin deep. So it's really kind of pushing. It's like you remain a good person, do the things that we've taught you about, being nice to people. That's what people remember about you. They don't remember how you look. They remember how you made them feel. So we're kind of reiterating that every time that kind of discussion goes up, and she's pretty open-minded to that. So I'm happy. Before we end, my walk away that I came away from this reading was legacy. And we've kind of talked about that before. And part of, I discussed like we did like this 5-year plan, which we never really done before, nor really have ever considered to put into words. Is like it's like legacy is a weird. It's like there's families that I know that they have buku kids. Said that twice now. Tons of kids, and when they talk about a legacy, I imagine like that line is going to go for a few decades. With all girls, I'm wondering what what does a legacy look like when it's not necessarily the family name, but what are they going to carry on? Like, is it going to be your Costco membership, or is it going to be something greater? And I'm hoping that it's something greater. Like, what's going to live beyond me through my kids? Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, do you ever think about those things? Having girls, like, what's going to continue after you're gone? It's kind of a December-ish type thought, but
I think Blaze has 2 boys, so maybe he can't relate.
I have a
But
girl
No,
dads only. Girl dads only discussion.
I just think about legacy. I mean, because today's a lot about they're your work. You have my mind going in like 100 different directions, so I don't want to go like too off tangent. But it just makes me think about how whatever we're doing, I don't go to work to like. I had a conversation with this my boss's boss yesterday, where it's like, where do you want to leave your mark? And like internally with my conversation, I'm like, I care more about the mark I'm leaving on my kids than the profession of nursing. And some people might like that, some might not. But it also made me think about like legacy. Like, I know some people where their parents were workaholics growing up and now they're workaholics. And you're like, you just work all the time. And they're like, no, I don't. And then it's like, well, they learned that. And I'm not saying I could be talking about myself. I could be talking about other people just in general. And so it's kind of like, what legacy are you leaving? And then why do you work? Do you work because you want that money? Do you work because you want to leave your mark? Do you work because something else? I don't know. But that's where you took me with that.
I think my mind kind of runs, definitely parallel with that too. But the idea that we're going to be forgotten, right? I'm pretty sure that it's something about like once we die, I think there's so many generations after that, eventually there's no one really within anything to even remember you, even if it's within your lineage, someone who really talks about you, which is also something I love, which is why within our family, we brought in Day of the Dead as an actual celebration around Halloween, because it brings up this idea of death and also brings up this idea of people from our past and our family. But I think that the more that we go out looking to actually build a legacy, build for us to be remembered, the less that we are going to be remembered, right? Because you're not really focusing on the moment. You're not really looking at building truly what is going to be remembered. So, and maybe that's just my way of dealing with, the idea of, death and whatever else. It's like, I'm going to rush forward, accept what's going to happen, and then see if we can kind of live in this moment more. And, come back to what you were saying about, teaching your oldest about how to not focus on what you're doing, but how to, focus on making sure that people remember how you made them feel. Right. So I think legacy has a lot of I think there's different definitions, different ways to kind of think about it for sure. And I think you can kind of play with semantics around that thought. But
yeah,
I think,
when I think about legacy, I got about 2 more minutes here. When I think about legacy, it's, really easy to think about, all these people that have been referenced in the book, like Queen Elizabeth, and more, because I'm totally blanking on names. But it's like, what are the things, like, are you going to do the things that people talk about, decades from now? That might be unrealistic. I'm more focusing on what are the kids going to be able to carry that me and Kristen start today or in the next 5 years. Will it be a family farm or a family ranch or something like that?
There it is, people. We have some alpha in terms of a 5-year plan. There's a farm involved, and
maybe it's
no,
a thought.
it is.
It's like, who doesn't want a family farm?
A lot of people.
What family with girls only does not discuss owning a horse farm at some point, right?
Guys, I gotta go. I love it. I can't wait to visit the farm. So I just want to.
Thank you.
Love
We'll
you,
have you all
Blaze.
out. I got to go.
All
Excellent
right.
to see you.
All right, guys.
Have a great day. Trying to find the music here, our outro music.
You got it. You can
Here
do
we
it.
go. Little bit.
Get it.
Little bit. Keep going. Keep go. No, got to play it first. All right. Enjoy your coffee, folks. Have a great morning. See you next week.